Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. And it is Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. Yay! Christ has risen. Right? Christ rose on Easter, right? Oh my God. I don't know. Wait, something. He did something. So, look, you guys. We are going to talk about the mouse and the motorcycle. Now, if you're young watching this, you're probably like, what the hell is the mouse and the motorcycle? Exactly. We asked the same question back in the 80s, you guys. The Mouse and the Motorcycle was written by Beverly Cleary, right? Around like 1965. And then in 1986, it was made into like a TV movie. But it wasn't even a movie. It's only like 40-some minutes long to fit an hour special, right? So, in the 80s, kids, we used to wake up on Saturday mornings and we had like 4 channels of cartoons to watch, okay? We had, well, I think Fox did something later. But anyway, 3, definitely. We had CBS, NBC, and ABC, right? Nothing but cartoons for hours from like 6 in the morning to like 11. I think after 11, like, Soul Train came on. And when Soul Train came on, then it was like, okay, I gotta find something to do for the rest of the day. But anyway, kind of like later in the morning, I know CBS had CBS Story Break, and ABC had the ABC Weekend Special. And so each one was like an hour, and they would either show you like some kind of cartoon, movie, or it was like a live action movie. But with the Mouse and the Motorcycle, it was like a hybrid. He wasn't an animated mouse, but he was like stop motion. Fun fact, you guys, I was like looking this up. Apparently they used a taxidermy mouse. Ew! Or was it mice? Was it the same mouse? Anyway, they used this mouse that used to be alive, and then it was stuffed, and then they were like using that as the stop motion mouse. Ew! Okay, let's talk about this. So, The Mouse and the Motorcycle is about a boy named Keith. He's in a car with his mom and his dad, and they're driving through California. And I guess, I don't know, something's happening with the car. So I don't think this was their destination. I think they just stopped at this hotel. So they stop at a hotel. And they're like, okay, we're going to get the car fixed in the morning, blah, blah, blah. So this kid, Keith, little boy, he has a motorcycle, a toy motorcycle, and a toy ambulance. And, you know, like all the boys, he's like, with the motorcycle. And he looks and he sees there's like this hole in the wall. And so, not sure why. Obviously, he does not live in the projects or the ghetto where there are like mouse holes all over the place. But he's like, ooh, what's that? And so he goes over to this mouse hole and starts like looking in it and sticking his hand in it like, ew! So the parents are like, okay, come on, Keith, we're going to go like sightseeing or something. And so Keith leaves his toys on this nightstand and leaves, right? So then that's when we are introduced to Ralph, who has the full name of Ralph S. Mouse. So Ralph comes out of the hole and he's like fascinated by this motorcycle, right? So he climbs up on it and he's looking at it and all this stuff. The telephone rings and freaks him the fuck out. And so Ralph freaks out and him and the motorcycle go fall into the trash, right? So then he comes back and, you know, he's like, oh my God, like, where's my motorcycle? Where is it? And, you know, it's all adults, like, maybe you put it down somewhere. Like, we'll find it later. Like, you ever been a kid and you're like, I put this down, like, right here, right? And your parents are like, yeah, whatever. Like, no, someone stole it. So this kid is like, what the hell? So he kind of thinks about it. He's like, I wonder if it fell into the trash, right? So, sure enough, he looks at the trash can and there it is. And then he goes to stick his hand into the trash can and it looks like Ralph is about to bite his ass. This kid is talking to a talking mouse and he's fine with it apparently. So he gets the mouse out of the trash. He gets the bike out and they make an arrangement where I will play with it in the daytime and then at night when I go to sleep, you can play with it, Ralph. And Ralph is like, really? Okay, that's a cool idea. I forgot how annoying Ralph's voice is through this whole, like, 40-some minutes.
Hey, did you... you couldn't have what? You can talk? ridden my motorcycle off the nightstand. Well, I didn't exactly ride it off. I was coasting.
The reason that his voice is super annoying is because the motorcycle is not battery powered. It's just a motorcycle, right? So, of course, when you're a kid, you're like, with your voice. So Ralph is like, well, how do I get it to move? And Keith is like, well, if you go with your voice, it'll make the bike move. So I guess, the magic of TV. Ralph is like, oh, okay. So that's what he does. And so anytime Ralph gets on the motorcycle, all he does is, and it's making the motorcycle move. So that's how he's moving around. It's really weird. I don't know why they didn't have a battery-powered motorcycle where he just flips a switch. Because they just have to hear him go, every time he's on the bike. So annoying. Alright, so anyway, we have a little flashback when Ralph was in the garbage can, because he's like, oh man, I'm trapped, like how am I going to get out? And he kind of remembers a conversation that his mom was giving to him and his sister, like, don't do that, don't eat this, don't go there, because they're mice, like you have to survive. Because apparently the father found some kind of medicine on the floor, ate it, and died. Like, oh my god, was this thing always that dark? So the father's dead because he ate medicine off the floor that helps people but's poisonous to mice. And I guess also their uncle somebody, I don't remember the uncle's name, but they have an uncle who's visiting and he's like, but I will say that the voice of the mom, I don't know if I knew this as a kid, but it's played by what's that lady's name? She was Tangina from Poltergeist. Zelda Rubinstein, right? So she plays the voice of the mom, okay? So anyway, so back to Ralph. So Ralph is like, that night, driving around the whole damn hotel. He's messing with this dog who hears him, and the dog's owner's like, what, do you need to be walked? Like, God, stop barking. Like, I don't know how this man did not see this mouse ride on a motorcycle at certain points, because the dog is close behind them, barking and chasing them. So anyway, he comes back, and at one point the mom sees it, and the mom was like, did I just see a mouse on a motorcycle? And everyone's like, no, bitch, you're crazy. So the next day, the parents take Keith to like explore again or do something. And so Keith was like, now look, I'm gonna put this bike under the bed so you can look at it, but don't ride it, okay? Because that was our agreement. And so Ralph is like, okay, I'm not gonna ride it. But of course, Ralph is so stupid. He goes over there and he's pretending and whatever, right? So then the maid comes, this teenage girl, and she comes to clean the room while the folks are away. And so she's vacuuming, and she puts the vacuum down while it's still on. Like, girl, all this electricity you're just using up. But she goes and plays in the mirror while the vacuum is going, right? I don't know if she's trying to, like, get overtime. She's, like, multitasking with vacuum on, and then she's cleaning the mirror. Like, it's weird. But since she left the vacuum on, the suction is under the bed, which, of course, is now in danger of sucking the bike into it. So Ralph is like, well, I was supposed to ride the bike, but now I gotta like ride it to save it. And I always find it so funny that you just see all this garbage and crap from under the bed like go into the vacuum. Like, where did all this mess come from? Was this hotel dirty before check-in? Because they were only there for like one night. Like, all this shit should not be under the bed. That should have been cleaned like way before people arrived. So yeah, Ralph gets the bike out of the vacuum just in time before it gets sucked up, and he ends up speeding into some sheets, right? So then, of course, the maid comes, picks up the bed sheets, and puts them in the hamper. So now Ralph is trapped once again. But he's a mouse, and unlike the garbage can, he can actually chew his way out of the sheets to get free. So that's what he does. He chews through the sheets, he gets free, but unfortunately the bike is still in the hamper. Later that day, the maid is washing the sheets, and she finds the one that has all the holes in it. So she's like, ew, gross, like gross-a-roo. She tells the management that there's mice again. Didn't she say again? So, so they go and put mouse traps all over the hotel. And not only did they put the mouse traps down, they got a cat. So now there's a cat in the hotel to eat the mice. So, I don't know what happened, but Keith comes back, right, from him and his parents' adventure around California, and he is sick, okay? And I always wondered as a kid, like, did he get sick from Ralph? Like, because, you know, mice have, like, germs and cooties and diseases, so he's talking to a talking mouse. He's letting the mouse ride his motorcycle, and then he's touching the motorcycle afterwards. We don't know that mouse been, so, like, it's never explained how he got sick, but he gets sick, and apparently there's no one with medicine in this whole hotel, so they can't, I guess, they never call, like, 911. Is there, like, a hospital around? They're like, okay, we're gonna get help in the morning, so I'm gonna need you to just sit down in your bed and shut up. Because I can't help you. That's the mom, by the way. And then on top of that, when the kid is in bed sick, Ralph comes out and he's like, where's my motorcycle? And Ralph is like, I lost it. And he's like, what, you bastard? Like, I trusted you. So anyway, so for Ralph to gain Keith's trust back, he's like, you know what? I'm going to try to find you some medicine and get you well because, like, there's nothing else he can do to solve the problem. So he's looking around. He ends up in this lady's room who is actually the actress Mary Jo Catlett, who you may know from Different Strokes, where she played Pearl. Yeah, Pearl from Different Strokes. And for you kids out there, she is the voice of, is it Mrs. Puff? Is that her name? From SpongeBob? She does the voice for that character. So she's like, ew, a mouse. But it's weird because I think it's the weekend. So she was like, well, it's too bad I can't just keep you and bring you into my classroom. Because I don't have a cage or anything for you. Because she traps him like in a glass. So she's like, well, I can't keep you, so I'm going to just kill you. So she takes it to the window and lets him fall to his death. But he doesn't fall. He ends up like getting caught in a tree or something, and then he ends up back inside the hotel. But when he goes inside the hotel, now on the first floor, which I guess he's never been to the first floor because I don't know if the family's on the second or third floor, but he's never been to the first floor. But he runs into the cat. And so the cat's chasing him. And somehow, he just finds this random aspirin on the ground. Like, I don't understand who's dropping medicine on the floor. Like, that's how the father died. They didn't say when the father died. Like, was that last week? Was that last year? So, why is there just random medicine on the floor? So, after running away from the cat, he's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Keith's ambulance, because the ambulance has to come into play somehow, since we introduced it a long time ago. And he's like, I'm going to drive this ambulance, I'm going to get the medicine, and I'm going to bring it back, and then me and Keith are going to be friends again. So that's what he does. So he talks Keith into giving him the ambulance, which, that actually is, like, powered, because as he's driving, there's, like, lights and sirens happening, so that's a battery-powered toy, so I don't know, whatever. So, blah, blah, blah. He gets the aspirin. He puts it in the back of the ambulance. And then he makes his way back to whatever floor Keith is on. And then he runs the ambulance to the door. And then the mom comes out and finds it. And so the mom, like, picks this toy up, opens it up and sees there's a aspirin in the ambulance. But she doesn't see the mouse that's driving the ambulance. But the funniest thing about it is, like, she's like, there's medicine in this toy. I'm going to give it to my son. Like, you, why is everyone eating things off the floor? So you don't even know, like, how, is it expired? I don't know. She just goes, here's aspirin. I'm going to give it to my child. So she does, and then all of a sudden the next day, like, he's better. Like, what the hell illness did this kid have? So pretty much what happens, you guys, like, Keith is better. They're leaving the hotel. And just in time, like the bellhop man is like, "Hey, does this motorcycle belong to you?" Like, I found it in some sheets, and we probably both know why. Apparently, this guy knows Ralph and his family because he's talked to Ralph. So that's weird. So anyway, Keith is like, "Okay, Ralph, I'm leaving, but you know what? Since you helped me, and you're so awesome and cool, I'm gonna let you have the motorcycle." So Keith gives Ralph the motorcycle, and everyone lives happily ever after, apparently. Why did I like this special? I guess it was cute as a kid, but now I'm like... So that was The Mouse and the Motorcycle, you guys. It's cute. I see the magic in it, but, you know, again, Ralph is annoying. Little hard-head little jerk. Have you ever seen The Mouse and the Motorcycle? Let me know in the comments below. What were your favorite parts? I didn't read the book, but apparently there's multiple books. So you got The Mouse and the Motorcycle, and then you have Runaway Ralph, and then the third one was just called Ralph S. Mouse, apparently, because that sounds like a great title. That was it. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you do remember this special. As always, you guys, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode. So have a good holiday, and until then, TTFN.